नमस्ते, मैं हूं कुमार सोवीर और ये वक्त है फ्रांस की मीडिया से जुड़े हुए और एक बड़े अखबार एमले मोंडे के एशिया हेड पेरिस पेड्रोलिटी हमारे पास आए रात। लगातार 2 दिन तक हमने उनसे लंबी बातचीत। लखनऊ आने का उनका मकसद राजनीतिक हालातों को सूंघना तो था ही, साथ ही साथ उन्होंने एक बड़ी आश्चर्यजनक खबर हमको दी। उन्होंने बताया कि वो लखनऊ आने का मकसद एक बड़ा ये भी है कि शाहजहांपुर में 4 साल पहले जिस जागीर सिंह नाम के पत्रकार को पुलिस और उस वक्त के मंत्री राम मूर्ति वर्मा की साजिशों में जिंदा फूंक दिया गया था, उसके बारे में तफ्तीश करना चाहते थे। ये मेरे लिए बड़े आश्चर्यजनक मामला है। उसकी वजह यह कि इस पूरे मामले को अव्वल तो शाहजहांपुर से लेकर दिल्ली और लखनऊ तक के कोई भी पत्रकार इस मानने को तैयार नहीं थे कि वो जागीर सिंह वास्तव में पत्रकार था या नहीं। केवल पत्रकार समुदाय ही नहीं बल्कि वहां के राजनीति से जुड़े हुए लोग भी ये नहीं मानते थे कि वो जागीर सिंह का मूल चरित्र पत्रकार था। लेकिन इसके बावजूद उस दौरान उसकी हत्या के बाद 5 दिन लगातार जाकर मैंने शाहजहांपुर को खंगाला और साबित किया, प्रमाण जुटाए कि वो पूरा एक बाकायदा षड्यंत्र था जिसमें जागीर को मंत्री और पुलिस वालों ने मिलकर के जिंदा फूंक दिया गया। हमने पाया कि जागीर सिंह जुझारू पत्रकार था और अपनी खबरों को लेकर के उसको मार डाला गया था। ऐसे वक्त में जब लखनऊ के बड़े पत्रकार उस पूरे मामले को डील कर रहे थे, उसके नाम पर पैसा उगा रहे थे और पत्रकारों को धमकी दे रहे थे कि वो हट जाएं और अफसरों से और नेताओं से, मंत्रियों से मिल करके वो मामले को डील कर लेंगे, ऐसे वक्त पे फ्रांस से आया हुआ एक पत्रकार उस पूरे मामले को जांचना चाहता था। ये मेरे लिए बड़े आश्चर्य की बात थी। हमने उनसे पूछा कि ऐसे मौके पे जब केवल पत्रकारिता दलाली और सत्ता और पूंजीपतियों के हाथ में है, ऐसे वक्त में जब आम आदमी की खबरों के लिए कोई स्थान नहीं बचा है, तो पेरिस का आपका यहाँ आना का मकसद क्या था?
We are playing the fingers of the politicians and the capitalists. We are not supposed to be fair in the public interest. This is our character, national character, sorry. But it is true. But I just want to know, Mr. Paris, why are you interested to inquire about Jaginder Singh of Shahjahanpur murder? What is the motive and what is the line of action and what is the ultimate interest?
Absolutely. No, it's a good question. I've been reading, I was looking for Uttar Pradesh stories, and I've been finding that there was quite a few articles on this case. So I started to look, and it looked actually very shocking that that a journalist was burned while he was investigating, and all the more so by the police and on the order of someone who is in authority. So we started to look into that case because everybody said it's a murder, he was investigating, and then I thought it was good to understand a bit more. But when I went inside the story, I thought it was much more complicated. It's very hard to find the truth.
Yeah.
So in itself, this also I thought was very revealing about India, because we understood he was a poor journalist and he was on Facebook, he was using Facebook for news, and at the same time he didn't seem too much to be actually asking for cash, against the news he was doing. But what we can see, well, everything, the whole story, according to me, is very interesting about India. So, most journalists, we like to have some cases. In this one, it was interesting to look a bit more inside it, even though it happened 4 years ago. So, of course, it's not a hot topic anymore. And I came here to cover some other topics as well, but
Mr.
I thought
Beres,
it's worth looking into it.
Mr. Beres, we are deep and severe threat with this type of incidents like a poor journalist murder. We have too many incidents in our society. You can,
Absolutely. Yeah, because actually when I started looking, one of the angle, when we started reading all the articles about Jagendra Singh, a lot of articles were also saying it's because of the sand mining mafia, because he revealed, some of the illegal sand mining. And then I've also found that there have been a lot of journalists murdered here in India who had been investigating or at least revealing a few facts about the sand mining mafia and the collusion with the local politicians or with the inspectors or with the police. I've also found another case, which was, in the press as well. There was another case in the neighboring state of Madhya Pradesh. And this one was more recent. 1 year ago, there was a journalist who was run over by a truck in Madhya Pradesh after he had revealed that there was actually an inspector who was corrupt and who had lied about the legal amount of sand that the trucks were using. So that was another case also. I thought I might go to see it, but I did not have time this time. But it seems to be a pattern.
How about my name?
Well, I've been asking about, which journalists have been investigating about it, and then, we got your names. Someone said you had written about it, and I could not read it because it was not in English, but, it was a good advice, because as you explained to me, you knew a lot about the case and had investigated about the case as well. So
You're Francisi. Do you have any idea about the Indian media person, Peprise? On the character of the Indian Peprise?
Oh, you mean the Indian...
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to understand a bit better how it works. It seems it seems quite complicated, the whole relation with the politicians and the journalists. It seems quite complicated here in India. So
how do you compare with the yours, Peprise, and the Indian paperman?
You mean how you compare the...
Paparazzi of the Francisi and the Indian newspaper persons. How do you compare?
Well, I don't know in France if there are... Well, in France you have a lot of media that would maybe where... So you have a situation on the social networks where everybody wants to have their say. So a lot of people would give their opinion, and also would, you have all this phenomenon of fake news. Someone give the idea, they think they've read something, and they think it's like that. But we don't have so much. I'm impressed here in India, where I saw a lot of local journalists actually striving to find, you know, some small stories and report about it on social networks. So we don't have that too much in France. I mean, no one locally. I mean, yeah, those who are staff of news, those who are staff of a newspaper.
Is the first time? Is the first time you have came to India?
Yes, it's my first time. So, you know, everything is new. But I'm quite impressed by all these journalists, local journalists here, who are looking for small facts and are reporting about it on the social networks. Actually, in France, we don't have that too much. A lot of people would speak on social networks, so give the idea of the theory. But not so much investigating like
Mr. Beres,
here.
Would you like to compare the Francisi and the Indian paparazzi?
Oh, you mean the journalists? Or the paparazzi are those who would take photos, you know, of celebrities or things like that. But grassroots journalists. Well, you know, in France, the trend of having grassroots journalism working almost freely for their blogs. I mean, I think all that has gone now. You don't have so much real journalists who would be working on who would be working for free. As I said, you mostly have some people who would give their opinion, or who would actually transfer some other theories that they have heard, including some conspiracy theories, but they're not doing any research themselves. So in a way, I find that Indian journalists are more involved into looking for stories. It's quite impressive.
Beres,
yes.
When I went to Shahjahanpur to investigate the Jaginder Singh murder, I was not surprised to attitude of the Indian journalists, especially Shahjahanpur and the UP, Uttar Pradesh paparazzis. It was very simple. They are the characters, our media persons. It is a simple characteristic, just to avoid to kill newses. But it is very astonished. I was astonished that you are inquiring the Jaginder Singh murder. It is very surprising for...
Well, actually, that was one of the cases in the last few years that really stand out. When you look at the news, you know, about journalists in India being targeted. Of course, there was the famous case 2 years ago of the lady Golakhan Singh, actually Bangalore, who was also shot dead by Hindu extremists. That was also a shocking case, which we have reported. But this one, Jagendra, 4 years ago, investigating on corruption and sand mining, and he was apparently burned to death while during a raid. So that actually was quite shocking. So that's why I thought it was good to get into it. And when I started looking, I realized that it was a very complicated story. I mean, it's very hard to know the truth, and we understand that a lot of people have been intimidated about it, and that the real truth has never come out. So all of this is a very says a lot of things about India.
I'm surprising and astonished that you are from France. You came to India in prayer. But our media person are not interested to know what was the case, what the person. They are simply playing and they are busy with their butters and breads.
Well, actually, when I was looking at the press, what was written on the case, there have been a lot of articles about it. A lot of articles were written about it in India. So it's quite impressive. But me, this time I came to do a lot of stories, different kind of stories on the elections and all that. But this one, I thought it was good also to try to understand better what was the real situation. But there've been a lot. I mean, it's impressive, like a lot of the most newspapers who wrote about it at the beginning said that it was a murder.
What is the difference of the Francisi newspapers and channels and web portals? What is the difference of there?
Well, the differences between France and India, well, at least what is interesting is here to see these very local journalists who are working on information and facts. Like in the case of Jagandra, he was in Shahjahanpur and he was receiving calls from a lot of informers, and then he was posting this information on his Facebook. And that kind of, he was really involved into it. He was really determined. Even though he didn't seem to earn a lot of money from it. So that's quite impressive that he really wanted to, find information and relay and transmit this information. I mean, you hardly find in France some people on the local level who are so involved into doing it if they are not within the media organization.
Thank you, Mr. Bates. I don't have any words to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
But thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for your help. You've been very nice with us, and it's very nice when we come to India to find fellow journalists who are helping us and explaining very frankly how they see the situation and sharing information. We appreciate a lot. Thank you.
ये हालत है कि लखनऊ के बड़े बड़े पत्रकार नेता जो केवल दलाली से जुड़े हुए हैं, उनकी निगाह में जागेंद्र सिंह एक भुनगे की तरीके था जो कुत्ते की तरह मारा गया। लेकिन फ्रांस से बैठा हुआ एक पत्रकार इस मुद्दे को कितने खूबसूरती के साथ और इतनी संजीदगी के साथ देख रहा है और खोज रहा है, ये वास्तव में एक आश्चर्यजनक प्रकरण है। और हिंदी बेल्ट के, खासतौर से हिंदी बेल्ट के पत्रकारों को चाहिए कि बैरिस ने आकर के जिस तरीके जो तमाचा मीडिया वालों पर मारा है उसको सीख लेने की कोशिश करें। वो ऐसे के साथ ही कुमार सवीर को दुलत्ती के इजाजत दीजिए। अगली बार फिर किसी दूसरे मुद्दे पर, किसी मसले पर, किसी दूसरे स्थान पर हम फिर हाजिर होंगे। आपसे गुजारिश सिर्फ इतनी है कि अगर आप हमारे चैनल का कंटेंट आपको पसंद है तो कृपया उसे सब YouTube पर सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए, घंटी बजाइए, लोगों को बताइए कि दुलत्ती ऐसे लगाई जाती है।